Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and Gridfinder.com, bringing you Season 13 Round 5 action from the world-famous Silverstone circuit in Great Britain. My name is Kieran Wright92, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend and broadcast colleague, Mr. DomThNoodle. Good evening, Dom. Indeed. Dom, I believe you may potentially be having a few technical issues. I'll let you try and sort those.
The audio didn't include.
Currently being able to be heard on stream, so I'll let you sort that. And whilst you're sorting that, I'll give the wonderful people in chat a little rundown of what happened last week for those who may have missed last week's race in Canada. It was Liverpool Ewan who seemed to find his form from Season 12 to pick up his first race win of the season. Botch Gerbil finished in second, therefore tying the record for the most consecutive podiums in IRL Xbox history, with Raza 410 finishing in third, grabbing his first podium of the season. So we will have a quick look at the drivers' standings. Ferrari's Botch Gerbil leading the way on 46 points, 14 ahead of second place DJ Danny, with PSR Harry in third for the Haas team. In terms of the constructors, it is that Ferrari team, Botch Gerbil and Raza 410 leading the way, 23 points ahead of DJ Danny and his new teammate Melina Coach in the McLaren team, with the Williams team of DCRS Smates and MCD Coda a further 5 points back in third. Dom, before I ask this next question to you, let's make sure your audio is in the stream. Are you there, my friend?
Yeah, so it seems to be that when the party was changed from open to invite only, it then unincluded the audio for some weird reason. Thank you, Microsoft.
Of course. Well, I know you did watch a little bit of last week's race in Canada, so coming into this week in Silverstone, obviously it's a track that you and I know both very, very well. Obviously from last season as well, who would you say are the drivers to watch when we're looking at tonight's race?
Well, I mean, like I said before, it was brought to my attention that the audio wasn't quite included. It's a little bit hard to say from last season, due to the fact that, again, like we had, like I've said, but didn't get here, due to the amount of safety cars we had. But from the season so far, it's very, very unpredictable. All of these drivers, especially the new ones, could really throw a banner in the works. So the only thing I can say is keep an eye out on, I'd say, the midfield, because yeah, you get some drivers, like one or two drivers that'll race ahead because this could be their favourite track, but the midfield drivers aren't as comfortable as those guys right at the front, but they're all really, really good, and they can all snip up a few little points here or there, and I think that's where the fight is this season. Not at the front, not at the back, but what would typically be classed as the Ferrari, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri area in real life. So P6 to P12. That's where you want to be looking.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely agree. Yeah, the midfield battles have definitely been some of the best battles that we've had this season. I've just had word from the admins. We are going to put a 5-minute delay on the start of proceedings here this evening, just to allow some Just allow some drivers to sort themselves out. I think a few of them may be potentially having some connection issues. So we will quickly run through a few little things. There will be a new AlphaTauri driver. He is going to be joining a little bit later on. That'll be a driver by the name of Jamesy. He is Liverpool Ewan's new teammate in the AlphaTauri. And you may have seen from last week, there is now a new second driver in the McLaren team, being Melina Coach. We won't go too much more into that, but decisions were made following last week's race in Canada, and Melina Coach is now a new McLaren driver. But potential, Dom, for history to be made tonight by a certain Canadian.
Yeah, Botch Gerbil, if he takes another podium, he will go on to the top step of all-time consecutive podiums in, I believe it's just the Xbox side of things. I'm not quite sure if it's across the whole of
It will be an IRL Xbox. Invictus Xbox.
But I mean, yeah, if he does go first on that step, then he keeps it going. He could go top of all time in Invictus completely.
Indeed, and we had Ryan Martin follow just before we went live. So Rasa, thank you for the follow. And PSR Harry has just followed the Invictus channel as well. Harry, welcome in, along with everyone else who is part of the Invictus family. Welcome into the stream this evening. We hope you are all doing well. As I say, we have got a slight delay on the start of proceedings here this evening. It's just to allow some of the other drivers to get themselves sorted and get themselves in on the action this evening.
During that meantime, Kieran, I do have a question.
Yep, of course.
Bodge Jibble, as you know, he's been a very, very strong driver, very sort of not overlooked, but sort of pushed to the side a little bit last season due to the fact of the whole DJ Danny and Liverpool Ewan fight. Do you think he could go down on record as one of the greatest Invictus Xbox drivers of all time?
In terms of Botch Gerbil?
Yes.
I mean, I don't see why not. As we've said, the chance to make history here this evening. To be the first person in Invictus Xbox history to have 7 consecutive podium finishes, providing he gets himself onto that podium. So I don't see why not. I mean, he's shown, as you and I both know quite well from last season, he showed real glimpses of fantastic ability in Season 12. Was always, as you say, there or thereabouts, but it unfortunately last season very much the DJ Danny versus Liverpool Ewan show, and Botch Gerbil was sort of lingering there somewhat in the background. But this season he's really seemed to come into his own, has Botch. I mean, it shows when you look at the standings. He's had podiums every single race this season. I mean, if we quickly go and look at everything he's done, he's had a second, a third, a second, and a second. So he's not finished on that top step yet this season. Could tonight be the night? I don't see why not. He shows he's got the pace. We can see he has the pace. Let's see if Silverstone is potentially the new home track for Botch Gerbil rather than Canada as it was last week.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been taking a bit of a look into it, and you know, like I said, it was a bit overlooked due to the whole, you know, DJ Danny Liverpool Ewan show. And it's the same. It was the same in realistic football last season as well. And you know, as the season goes on, he gets better and better every game from what we've seen. And then we're talking about a man who, at the end of last season, said he wasn't quite sure if he was going to come back, and then he comes back. And I had a chat with him, and he said that he hadn't picked the game up until he had to run his trial for Invictus. And he said he just took a big break from F1. He bought the game and hadn't even picked it up yet. And he, you know, continued his podium streak, which is nothing short of, well, of madness. The man's only been on the game for, I'd say, 6, 7, 8 weeks, in comparison to some of the guys that have been really sweating this out and since it released.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll have to see what happens in terms of Bots Gerbil. Can he make history tonight? We've got quite a few of the Invictus drivers in the chat. I know they are potentially lurking, and they're going to want to try and rain on Mr. Bots Gerbil's parade somewhat and prevent him from that elusive 7th consecutive podium in Invictus Xbox to try and set that new record. Of course, we have mentioned the potential, for Bots Gerbil to break that record, but we haven't actually mentioned, Dom, who currently holds that record. And it's someone who's in this race.
And you know what? If my phone wasn't throwing wobbly fits at me, I would be able to tell you who that was. But for some reason, it doesn't want to open up. My
last season's
little
drivers champion.
Oh, Liverpool Ewan.
Liverpool Ewan. Last season in F1. 6 consecutive podiums. The season before, Fairmoto in F2. 6 consecutive podium finishes. And now this season, Bots Gerbil, 6 consecutive podium finishes. That starts from season 12 Spain, so back end of last season. And then obviously the first 4 races of this season. Chance for him to potentially break it come the end of this evening.
Hey. Yes, have you seen what I've just seen?
The Invictus Xbox comms room and what the wonderful admins have told us, Dom.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing a dry quali, dark but dry, so nice cool track to run on. And then to top off the action in qualifying, as I'm seeing Raza coming out of the pits, it will be a dry race, but it could start to what do we say in the UK? Bucket it down.
Yes, we have been given the potential warning that it could get a little bit towards the end of the race. I mean, we are at Silverstone. It makes sense. British weather in the middle of summer. It normally rains, we're not gonna lie. So, potential for the end of the race to get very, very spicy as we are watching Ruzek, the first car out on track on the soft tyre. So he will be the first person to set a lap time here this evening in Silverstone. Of course, a track that we've both driven in this game, Dom. How do you feel that the game... How do you feel Silverstone is this game compared to maybe last year? So because obviously could be the first time a few of these are driving this Silverstone circuit, this new game.
It's a lot different to the last game. I'll say that, but it's a lot more. It's a lot closer to real life. There are curbs there that are left from when the GT3 drivers use it. So, you know, you've got to really be careful of some of the curbs here this year. And the grip levels are about right. You don't want to get on the throttle too early, which again is about right. And you also don't want to get on the throttle too late. In the cold, it can be a bit slippy. And in the wet, it can be very, very slippy, as you've seen. But yeah, overall, Codemasters have nailed this year's game. They've put the curbs where they need to be. They put the sausage curbs where they need to be, and it's a lot better, should we say?
We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I think someone has gone round. I'll let Dom go and investigate that. I think it's maybe an Alpha Tauri.
It looks to be.
Oh no, it might be an Alpha or a Red Bull, a Ferrari.
Alfa Romeo. It was
Probably
Joey.
Joey, I would have thought.
It was Joey.
Let's quickly jump on board with Ruzek as he comes round to cross the line and set the first time to beat, which is a 1:27.281.
Yeah, and I'm seeing something quite interesting here, and I'm trying to figure out which driver it is. He seems to be on a lap. Actually, yeah, this is working really well for DCRS mates. He is in the toe of Raza.
It would be good for DCRS mates, but he has unfortunately validated his lap time done. That's why he's come into the pits now.
Indeed, he has.
We'll see what Raza can do as he comes up to the line, crosses the line, and 128.118 there for Raza, currently in P2 on the medium tyre. Interestingly, electing to go out on those medium tyres, though.
Maybe track evolution. Again, the mediums can be pretty decent here. Quite competitive, actually. What I found with the mediums in this game, and I'm not sure if you found them as well, but the mediums are really, really terrible at the start, but, you know, once they hit like that 40-50% mark, they grip more than they did previously. And
yeah,
you could stay, you know, you feel like you can stay on them for another 6, 7, 8, 9 laps, but you're like, it's getting close to puncture territory at this point. So it is a situation, but the mediums are personally my preferred tyre, so it's surprising to see only Raza being the first person to throw.
as indeed, Liverpool Ewan did cross the line there, but it wasn't invalidated a lap of a 145. We've got a yellow flag in set to 1. That's, I think, one of the Red Bulls moving out of the way. I think it's going to be me. Yeah, it was Jamie just taking an evasive action, moving out of the way of Liverpool Ewan there, as he was going for back-to-back hot laps. We're going to jump to, I think it's going to be Raza, but he's probably on an in-lap. He is indeed on an in-lap. So, potentially down to Farfu. Yeah, Farfu, I think, is going to be the next person to cross the line instead of lap time. A driver, again, I know I've mentioned it quite often, was a driver that we had a bit of a soft spot for last season in Season 12. I don't think he's shown his full potential yet this season. Why do you think that is, Dom?
Personally, if it is what I think it is, this game, you know, really shows where drivers are, you know, have their preferred tracks, and as I say, the preferred tracks, Liverpool Ewan has gone purple in Sector 2. But yeah, it focuses on those who struggle on certain tracks and, you know, excel on others. So maybe he just hasn't found his few tracks yet.
Maybe. There's Liverpool Ewan, puts himself second, 129.43 there for the race winner from last week. There is still PSR Harry in the Haas, who leads the way. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 1. I think that's just the Alpine of Ruzek. Maybe slowly there on his way out of the pits. He is on an outlap. I think we've got DCRS mates on an outlap as well. Indeed. We have Lewis in chat. Hello, Lewis. How are you, bud? Hope you're well, mate. That is Mini Will for you, Dom.
Hello, Mini Will. It's in his name. Lewis, W, I, and L, all in there.
Goodness sake. Right, let's see. Who have we got on an outlap?
We can call him
the new driver.
We could even call him. We could even call him Willsey. With one E.
No, you can't do that, because then you'd be getting confused with a driver who we had last season in Invictus. Fortunately, not here with us this season, being VSL Willsey, now MSE Willsey. Fortunately, not racing in Invictus this season. Decided to take a season out of the game.
But yeah, no, referring back to the mediums thing. So a one-stop strategy will be preferred here due to the 37-second pit lane.
It'd be a long one. It'd definitely be a long one here.
So a one-stop strategy is preferred, and it really is a soft to hard or hard to soft. But if you are the Sergio Perez of the league, you can take those mediums for about 14 to 16 laps and then put softs on and go, you know, to the end. Whereas if you're on the hards, you can take them about 17 to 19, so there really isn't that much difference. You just really have to conserve your tyres right at the end of the race. Or push those mediums a bit further than you originally thought you might. Like I said, the track here grips a lot in the dry, if we do get that wet race, maybe it is a two-stop race where we get drivers do a soft inters.
Potentially, I think the key thing that's going to be very, very important in terms of this race this evening is if it does fall, when that rain falls. So at what point during the race as Molina Coach crosses the line, 128.399. Currently P11 for the new McLaren. Boss Gerbil has invalidated his lap and is on the off-road, just outside of Chapel there, moving out of the way of the car that was ahead of him, who I believe was Nathan HRX, who was on an outlap. So look around, trying to work out who the next car on a timed lap is going to be. I think it's going to be one of the Ferraris, potentially Raza. I think it is going to be Raza. So we'll see what Raza can do. Obviously picked up his first podium of the season last week in Canada. Unfortunately wasn't able to have a chat with him. He didn't have a microphone, so there at one point it was a slight improvement there from Raza.
He goes
up
up
to
to
P4.
Yeah, and
indeed.
something I've noticed with Raza is he's got a tendency to come around the final corner and then go very, very narrow to hug the pit wall. Where usually most drivers would try to stay wide, stay as far away from that pit wall as possible to keep the momentum, keep the speed, and not have to turn and just go straight to the line. So maybe he is losing maybe a tenth of a second there. And if that is the case, a tenth of a second would put him up to P3 easily.
And there is Harry going faster again, a 26.288 there for PSR Harry. What do you think? Why do you think that is, Dom? That Raza does that, tries to hug that inside line for the pit wall.
The only way I could tell you is if I was in his mind, because I haven't seen a single other driver choose to do exactly what he's been doing, and it is boggling my whole head. I cannot figure it out. I mean, Nathan HRX is on a lap now, and I'm going to see what he decides to do. Yeah, he stays wide.
He runs the slightly more natural line across the line, but whoa, Abby potentially a little bit too hot into Abby there for Nathan HRX. Causes a little spin for the Alpine driver, who of course has a record of his own, Dom, but it's probably not the most wanted one, unfortunately.
Actually, I've managed to get it up now. It's the polar opposite of Botch Gerbil's record. Unfortunately, he's a driver that's, struggled to get podiums and now has the record for the most amount of races without a podium, which is unfortunate, because he's a very solid driver. But I mean, unfortunately, there has to be that midfield driver that just doesn't get the podiums. Without sounding horrible, I mean, you look at the likes of, I don't know, Lance Stroll, who's got, one podium to his name? One or two podiums to his name, and I'm not saying that Nathan HRX doesn't have a podium to his name, I'm just saying it's very rare. And both drivers, both him and Lance Stroll, are very solid drivers, but just lack maybe the knowledge so far to get that car up there.
Potentially. So Nathan does come into the pits now. Just going to have a quick look and see if we can work out who the next driver to cross the line is going to be. I believe now it's currently up in P2, being Sir Sharks. So he's going to come into the pits. Does Sir Sharks? I think I'm going to ask it, because I think it does need to be asked. How many drivers do you think are going to get caught out by the pit limiter line?
Not many people tend to here. The pit lane entry is so long that you don't really have to worry about it too much. However, still that thing of, I've got as close to that line as possible. So But knowing the the caliber of driver we're talking about here, I don't see many. Maybe one or two. I think it might catch Raza out. As Raza, has from time to time been known to be caught by that. But I can't see it catching many, if it catches anyone at all.
We'll definitely keep an eye on it. On the note of Raza, there is Raza. Trying to get some heat into those tyres. He's coming up the hanger straight, up towards Stowe. Getting ready to start a lap. 3.5 minutes just under left in this qualifying session here in the IRL F1 Xbox League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and GridFinder.com. It is Kieran Wright 92 and DomThNoodle, last season's F1 commentary team, back in the comms box. The dream team back together once again.
Hashtag Xbox best comms team.
It is nice to have you back in the comms box. Don't get me wrong, I like doing comms with Andrew, but obviously you and I started here at the exact same time, so it is always nice to do comms with your best mate.
Well, I may or may not have dragged you into this, but
no
what can we say? What can we say? We're enjoying it. We enjoyed all of last season. We'll enjoy all of this season. Well, the half of this season we get to do together. And live happily ever after. And talking about living ever after, I do not think that is on DJ Danny's agenda tonight, or Sun Pikachu. Both drivers still yet to leave. Well, Sun Pikachu is still yet to leave his pit box. And well, DJ Danny has only just left his. I think he's coming up to the line. No, he's just coming through Maggots and Beckett's from what I can tell. So, yeah, again, two drivers leaving it very, very late.
Oh, indeed. It's a good luck from Matt there, puts himself up into P5.
I'm going to tell you now, Sun Pikachu is a glitch. He is not on a lap, he is on an out lap.
Thank you, my friend. We'll see what Raza can do there. He is on a lap. Again, he does the same thing again. He does improve. He's a 26.943. Exactly the same time as Liverpool Ewan there. For Raza, currently in 4th place, having set the lap time later than Liverpool Ewan. For anyone who is wondering how quote-unquote tiebreaker situations on identical lap times are set out on this game, whichever driver sets the lap time first will get the place ahead of the other driver.
Yeah, do you know what else is mad?
That is why you see Liverpool Ewan in 3rd. Yeah.
If you go into your spectator menu and change the gap to leader, it says that Liverpool Ewan is 0.654 slower than PSR Harry, and that Raza is 655 slower than PSR Harry. Yeah, if you look at their fastest lap particle,
it's very, very strange. I think potentially the thing where the game does round up ever so slightly. We've got potentially finishing laps. So we've got Joey.
We'll have DJ Danny coming up the hanger straight now.
We've got Joey crossing the line now, improves his lap time. It's 11th place for Joey. PSR Harry is just starting a lap. I think we're going to be jumping now down to DJ Danny. He is going to be the next person to cross the line. Let's see what Danny can do. What sort of trouble can he get himself into? It's a 28.5 from DJ Danny. With 3 seconds left to go in the session, DJ Danny's going to have to go for a double push lap here if he wants to get himself up in the business end of this British Grand Prix. Of course, the flag has now dropped, so qualifying is over. This will be the last for drivers. Someone's gone round. And Nathan HRX does just jump DJ Danny there. I think it is Joey just trying to move out of the way of some drivers who are on hot laps around him. Melina Coach is going to be the next person to cross the line. Melina Coach is in fact on a slow lap now.
Oh, Sun Pikachu and DJ Danny have both invalidated. Well, I mean, DJ Danny has invalidated, but he was just reversing into the wall at the exit of Cops. So I'm gonna assume that his lap is over.
I would have thought so, but can PSR Harry improve on his time? Yes, he can! A 1:26.194 for PSR Harry. See what Liverpool Ewan can do as he comes around. He's 3/10 up on his time at the moment. Can he put himself on pole position? Can he spoil the party? He can't. 26.943 there for Liverpool Ewan. That will keep him 3. And that, Mr. Dom, is the end of qualifying.
It is, and you know, as you can tell, a lot of these drivers threw everything, including the kitchen sink at it. And talking about the kitchen sink, to keep the water in it needs something, a plug, and you're very good at doing those.
I do like a plug, but it's not plug time just yet. The plug time will come in just a second. I've just had a quick jump into the Discord, and in DJ Danny's rush to get back out onto track, Danny forgot to actually put his hot lap on. DJ Danny forgot to engage his hot lap mode on his timed laps. PSR Harry in chat saying dub, as he has put himself on pole.
It is illegal to be that fast, by the way.
1:26.194 for PSR Harry. That is your pole position time. Sir Sharks will join him on the front row of the grid. Liverpool Ewan and Roza make up your second row. Ruzek and IRL Mats make up your second. DCRS Smates and Farfu on row 4. Row 5 is Botch Gerbil and Vinny Cousin. Row 6, Joey 645 and Melina Coach. 7 for Jamie29X and Nathan HRX. Row 8 for DJ Danny and Sun Pikachu.
Yeah, very unfortunate for those two bottom drivers there, DJ Danny and Sun Pikachu. Both really strong drivers, and as we've seen, Sun Pikachu got my driver of the day at France, based purely upon the fact that he gives everything in a race, and he will climb from the bottom of the pack to the the podium positions without anyone realizing that he was even there to start with. So keep an eye on him again tonight, and also keep an eye on DJ Danny again. Like you said, he didn't put his hot lap on. He wanted to be Max Verstappen at the Dutch Grand Prix. We understand, but if you want to do that, you can't engage your DRS. You have to leave your hot lap on. But I digress.
Very, very true. So, as everyone is going to get ready, it is time for Dom's favourite part of the stream.
Where Kieran plugs me.
And it is the plug time, of course. If you guys are new to Invictus, we stream 4 days a week, Monday through to Thursday, over on the combined forces of YouTube and Twitch. On a Monday night, it is PlayStation F1 with Weber Red 5 and Lightning taking you through the action on the YouTube channel. PS F2 is on at the same time as us over on the YouTube channel. It is the wonderful voices of Malcolm and Matt that take you through the action there. Of course, it is myself and Dom, or myself and Matty, myself and Andrew, Andrew and Matty, Andrew and Dom. Any of those combinations, Dom and Matty, any of those combos on a Tuesday night here on Twitch, bringing you the Xbox F1 commentary. On a Wednesday night, 2 streams for your viewing pleasure, both on YouTube. PlayStation F3 and PC F1. It is Infinite Gamer and JPH that take you through the action for PlayStation F3, and then it is arguably the dream team, Cameron and Fozzy, that take you through the action on PC F1. Guys, if you haven't watched a PC F1 stream, please go back and watch them. In fact, saying that, I don't know if PC F1 is running much longer due to the desync issues they're having. Hopefully, we should have a patch soon, and we should have PC back up shortly. And then Thursdays, it's Realistic Performance. Tim and Malk take you through the action in PlayStation Realistic Performance.
Nice little plug there, Kieran.
It is indeed, of course. Got to do the social medias as well.
Whilst you were doing
medias.
That, I was making sure that my fair babies are okay.
Not a problem. Social medias, if you guys do want to get involved on the conversation. Over on Twitter, hashtag InvictusRL if you want to join the conversation, at InvictusRL on Twitter. Or if you want the Xbox specific side of things, it is at InvictusRL_Xbox. The YouTube channel, for those who might want to know, youtube.com/InvictusRL. Instagram at Invictus Racing League, and then the main website if you want to get involved in the racing here in Invictus. It is invictusracingleague.com.
You good?
We are about to start
need
our
to
formation
breathe?
lap. I do need to breathe, so I'll let you talk for a few moments as we do the "oh no, my shoes" moment and see what tyres everyone's on. And then I'll let Dom talk throughout this formation lap.
You know what? I'd also like to know what tyres everyone's on, so give me uno momento so I can figure out what's going on. So, by the looks of things, some of these drivers clearly know more than what I do, due to, you know, them having the weather and us not, because, you know, Codemasters hate commentators. But by the looks of it, there's a fair few drivers on the medium compound tyre that have all chosen it. Possibly, I'm guessing, I'm hoping that they've picked it because the rain is going to come in just as those mediums need to be changed out. Now, I could be very, very wrong, and they may need to go to the softs to then change over to inters if the rain comes. But if not, it's upset for a few drivers. It may not be. We'll figure that out when we get to it. PSR Harry is again on a charge for, I believe, yet another win. If I'm not mistaken, he's already got 1 or 2 this season. I think he took the win at Brazil. In the Haas, honest, it's not the best looking or most loved car on the grid, but someone's got to love it, and he's treating it well. A lot better than one Russian driver.
Just give me a second, Dom, just doing something. There we go.
You all good now?
I am all now. Thank you for that, my friend.
I'm getting Liverpool Unit to change his name to Two Trailer Park Girls.
Why?
Because then,
you know what? I'm not even gonna.
Because then at turn 1, you can do an M&M and go, 2 Trailer Park Girls go around the outside.
Oh, for goodness sake! This is what I have to part with, ladies and gentlemen. But we're all well and good. We are about to get the action underway. This is IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and GridFinder.com. We are about to go racing here at Silverstone. All we are waiting for now are those world famous 5 red lights. Dom, are you ready for the action to unfold here in Silverstone?
Definitely. One of the most interesting races on the calendar, one of the fastest races on the calendar. This is going to be a hellfest for these drivers.
Is indeed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. We're going to go on board with Liverpool Ewan as we start this race here. PSR Harry gets onto a fantastic start. So does Sir Sharks on the run into Abbey now. PSR Harry does lead. Liverpool Ewan is there, pulling away from Raja as well. Trying to stick with Sir Sharks in these early stages. Coming through Village now on lap number 1. You can see PSR Harry still does lead. Got a few drivers moving and shaking around the back of the pack as we come onto the Wellington Straight for the first time this evening. Running down the Wellington Straight is PSR Harry to lead. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Someone has gone round. I believe that's DCRS Mates. I know Dom will be watching the back of the pack, so I'll let Dom comment on that in just a second. Round Brooklands, round Luffield on lap number 1. We can still see Liverpool Ewan trying to stay in touch with Sir Sharks, but Raza is very much gaining on him now. You can see Raza pulling away from IRL Max as well. Through Cops they come for the first time this evening. It is PSR Harry, followed by Sir Sharks, followed by Liverpool Ewan, followed by Raza, followed by IRL Max. That is your top 5 as you come through Magus and Beckett's now. On lap number 1, it is still Harry that leads the way, Dom.
Yeah, quite right. And we almost had a Lewis Hamilton Max Verstappen incident at Cops. DJ Danny was on the outside. Something could shoot. No. Nathan HRX was looking to send a nose up the inside. DJ Danny just managed to keep it away from the Alpine. 3 wide, some Pikachu, DJ Danny and Joey all into Brooklands. And yeah, it has been a brilliant start for some drivers. Some Pikachu up 3. Jamie 29X up 3.
And sorry to jump in there, Dom. It was Matt had a little bit of a moment there as he was coming out of club there.
Jamie 29X is also hit pit wall.
Ooh, how much damage has that done to Jamie's car. You know what? I don't actually think there's not actually any wing damage on that car.
There isn't. I think he's hit it side on. I think what's happened is he's put a bit too much throttle on, the back end switched out on him, and he's hit it side on. If he has, he's lucky to still be in this race. DCRS mates, like you said, did have a little bit of a spin out of, I can't remember the name of it. It's going to come back to me later on, though, I can guarantee you.
So if Dom just randomly shouts a corner name during the stream, guys, you know why. Because he's just remembered what corner it was that DCRS mates had a little spin earlier in this race.
Yeah, so your big winner, Sun Pikachu, up 6. Your biggest loser, unfortunately, is DCRS mates. Not calling him a loser, but he has lost 8 positions so far. Jamie Turner-Nax has only lost 3 in comparison. DJ Danny is up 2. Melina Coach is up 2. Vinny Cousin is up 2, up 1. And the rest of the pack have stayed exactly where they started. Which
Invictus race is it's rare. It's very rare. We normally get quite a few movements on the first couple of laps of a race. Not the case here this evening at Silverstone.
Yeah, I changed what I previously said. Sun Pikachu's up 5, Joey's down 1. The rest have now not moved. DRS is now enabled on lap 3 as per usual, and we haven't actually lost anyone.
We haven't.
In the opening lap.
We haven't. We've not lost anyone in the opening couple of laps, but we have had a winner for the first penalty sweepstake. So if you did have Nathan HRX and your first penalty sweepstake choice, congratulations, you are a winner. Closely followed by Joey. Those are the first 2 drivers to pick up those vital 3-second time penalties, which you want to really try and keep to a minimum, especially on a track like this.
Yeah, and talked about keeping stuff to a minimum. Sun Pikachu is really keeping that gap between himself and Melina Coach to a minimum. Really pressuring Melina Coach, who is now at DRS of Botch Gerbil. So Sun Pikachu could really come back at Melina on the hangar straight.
Well,
the DRS wide open.
Sun Pikachu now, here he comes. Ooh, did Sun Pikachu go onto the grass a little bit there as he was coming up the hangar straight on?
Yeah, a couple of things. So Sun Pikachu has gone onto the grass up the hangar straight, and we also need to flag the session because Sun Pikachu is not wearing a helmet.
Yes, there is unfortunately still a visual glitch with the game. If you join mid-qualifying, you don't have a helmet.
However, DJ Danny has one. It just seems to be maybe Danny Ricciardo's.
Interesting.
Oh, it looks to be custom.
Mr. Matty Valander from Matt Val is in the chat. How Matty? Hope you are well, bud. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the comment show. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3 where there's absolutely no one. Codemasters, are you okay? On the note of being okay, we are potentially going to be getting a Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen moment. No. Botch Gerbil does get himself ahead of Vinny Cousin just before.
Oh, Melina has spun, and that is a DNF.
Oh no, Melina Coach.
That is a safety car as well. That is a big impact.
It is a full course safety car. Is that on the Exeter Cops? It is on the Exeter Cops. You can see him there on the right hand side of the screen, now in the rear of Jamie 29X's car. We have had our first casualty now on lap 4.
That's very unfortunate because I was watching Sun Pikachu at the time, and Sun Pikachu had just given Melina the dirty air around cops, and unfortunately...
A lot of the soft runners coming into the pit stop.
Yeah, and there's only maybe 1 or 2 that seem to be staying out. Botch Gerbil being one of them, and Liverpool Ewan being the other. This has put Sun Pikachu up into P3. I don't know how many other winners we're going to get out of that, or how many other drivers are going to follow in closely behind. I don't know whether or not Joey is. Yeah, Joey was also coming in.
Let's do a quick rundown of what tyres everyone has moved on to as we watch DJ Danny, who is just making his way around now. The safety car has picked up Liverpool Ewan, so we'll jump up to Liverpool Ewan actually. Just so you can see that lovely, wonderful looking Aston Martin safety car. 2 weeks in a row, we've had that Aston Martin safety car out in Invictus. But in terms of those who have pitted, PSR Harry, Sir Sharks, Raza all moving onto the medium tyre. Ruzek and Farfu on the hards. DCRS Smates, interestingly, Dom, putting on another set of soft tyres.
Yeah, maybe cut it back a little bit.
And Joey on hards.
Yeah, this is genuinely going to shake up a little bit here. And again, it could be the difference that DCRS Mates needs. That rain might come in sooner than expected. It also might hang out just in time for those medium runners to be, you know, waiting for their tyres to scream at them saying we need help, and then it's Inter's weather. Never know in Formula One, and you never know in Great Britain either. The weather is either perfect or atrocious. There is no in between.
It's very, very true. So I think whilst we're going through the safety car period, this is of course the IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver 61 and gridfinder.com. It is Kieran Wright 92 and DomThNoodle on commentary this evening. I think Dom. Oh! As DJ Danny just picked up a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Jamie 29X, Dom.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it looks to have come after the entry line. So, apologise. Don't opening up some caramel nibbles. But yeah, that's unfortunate for both drivers. Obviously more PJ, because he's the only one that got a penalty, but they're going to need to pit again, so he can't get that removed.
No. It's very, very true. You can't. Harry is in chat, can never have a nice, easy race. Fortunately not, bud. Fortunately not. They are giving you a big test here in Invictus. But let's go for some interesting facts and stats, because you know me, Dom, I like a good fact and stats. So the last time we were here was obviously last season, season 12, round 8. The top 3 from the F1 side of things was DJ Danny, James F1 ETC and Farfu 11. On the realistic side, the race winner was a certain botched gerbil with Sync Rayner in second and James F1 ETC in third. The pole position time then was a 1:24.233 by botched gerbil, who was driving a Williams last season, if you do remember that, Dom.
Indeed he was. And he was really good in that Williams too. He put that Williams on podium after podium after podium.
He did indeed. Sir Sharks, as we're about to go racing again, I'll give this little fact on Sir Sharks, because this is an interesting one when I was looking at our race document before the stream this evening. Sir Sharks is on a run of 16 consecutive points finishes. 16 consecutive races where Sir Sharks have scored points. That is the longest in IRL Xbox history. Can he make it 17? Currently in a points position, so it could well be. Liverpool Ewan has gone very, very early here before Club and oh! I don't think his tyres were up to temperature. All of that massive jump that he had, he's just lost out on it now with that little bit of a wobble there going into the Vale chicane there. All of that hard work undone by Liverpool Ewan. We did see someone, I think it was actually, pick up a 5-second time penalty for a collision with DCRS Smates on that restart. Nothing changes for the top 5. PSR Harry has jumped DJ Danny. He is now on the hunt for Jamie 29X. But not sure whether you were watching that restart, Dom. All that hard work that Ewan did, very quickly undone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to clearly give him some lessons in safety car restarts at Silverstone. I hate to brag or anything, but managed to pull a good 3 or 4 seconds on drivers by the end of Sector 1 on the safety car restart. The tip is to just go on the apex of the final corner. Because as long as your tyres are right up to temperature, you get then it's game over for the drivers behind you. They can't figure out when you're going.
I'm thinking that may potentially be the issue. I don't think Liverpool Ewan's tyres were up to 10 because he did have it was a little half spin. Did well to correct it. To be fair to him, he has had the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 1:29.671 on this restart. We're watching Harry at the moment trying to hunt down Mats. Not able to get any moves done on that Red Bull yet, but under braking gets so close to the back of that Red Bull. This could potentially open up a move coming down the Wellington Straight. Of course, no DRS yet. We are still on a safety car restart, so it will be the beginning of the next lap that we will get the ability for these wonderful drivers to use their DRS as we have a timing glitch. Of course we do. Because it's Codemasters and the timing glitches are always a thing.
That's kind of
Harry
say
has
Sky
Sports.
Sports.
No, because we're not Sky Sports.
It would have been so much more interesting if you'd have said Sky Sports.
Another quick situation. There is your situation. Oh, someone's gone round.
Yeah, that is Nathan HRX from what I can tell. His car was ghosted for... His car seemed to be ghosted for one driver and not for another.
It was indeed Nathan. We see him down in P15 at the moment. One of 3 drivers with penalties. He has 3 seconds. DJ Danny has 5. And Joey645 has 8.
DJ Danny's really putting it to Jamie 29X.
Ooh, side by side there, coming down the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight into Abbey. Still side by side, Jamie 29th and DJ Danny. These guys are battling it out into Village. They come now. Sir Sharks makes a move on Raza as well. There's so much action, I don't know where to look. DJ does now get himself ahead of Jamie 29H with that DRS assistance. He's going to try and see if he can pull away from Jamie.
Doesn't
Sir
look
Sharks
like
is
he can do
lining
it,
up into Brooklands. Oh, Sir Sharks want to move up the inside of Jamie 29X. Through Brooklands into Luffy. You can see how close they are to each other.
Yes, he can.
Just hold on to that very, very good move there by Sir Sharks. That moves Sir Sharks up into now. Raza looking to make a move on Jamie as well. Through Clarks! That was almost a Verstappen Hamilton moment there between Raza and Jamie 29X. Everyone has all parts of their car intact though. Sharks is now going to try and see if he can line up on with DJ Danny. Coming down the hangar straight. He's going to get that to see the overspeed. Danny pulls to the right to try and defend the inside line if he's going to do it. Sir Sharks has to do it around the outside. Here comes DJ Danny down back the inside. But Sir Sharks is able to get his Mercedes car ahead. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2 again for absolutely no one because Codemasters is Codemasters and Codemasters are being Codemasters. It's the easiest way of putting it. PSR Harry is currently the fastest car on track with a 1:29.5. And we see the intergalactic helmet of Sir Sharks there in the Mercedes on stream. Interesting that the top 2 Dom and IRL Mats, who are still on those tyres that they started this race on, those soft tyres haven't come into the pits just yet. How long do you think these soft tyres can actually go? Of course, bearing in mind we have had that safety car.
You could probably get another 3 to 4 laps out of them. Most, I'd say now. But it does seem to be that Sun Pikachu is managing to find the time on the drivers in front of him now, based on the fact that those mediums are coming into their own. They will have another 6 laps or so at most on those tyres. But I would expect the 2 soft runners to pit either this lap or the next.
Botch Gerbil does make the move on Liverpool Ewan there with the DRS assistance down to the hand straight for the lead. Botch Gerbil does indeed come into the pits. So he does hand the lead of the Grand Prix back to Liverpool Ewan.
So the question is he going to undercut Liverpool Ewan here? Because it's a 37-second pit lane. And I haven't quite tested it, but I'm not quite sure if in the dry, the undercut is as powerful as I think it might be.
Yellow flag in Sector 3. Who's that gone round?
Jamie 29X, maybe? It is Jamie 29X. He has no front wing. That Red Bull is looking very, very naked.
Ooh, you can see it now. It's just popped up on stream. You can see the lack of front wing there for Jamie 29X. So his Red Bull is going to be a proverbial boat. Mr. Carbon Gaming is in the building. How are we doing, Carbon?
You want to talk about proverbial boats? Liverpool Ewan has been left for dead by some Pikachu. Managed to get the move done on what I can only tell is the first DRS straight of the lap.
You mean the Wellington straight, Dom?
That's the one. Struggled in sector 2, so maybe those medium tyres are only faster in, I'm going to say, sectors 1 and 2. Good block there to stop Liverpool Ewan from getting the position back. But can he keep it up?
We shall see. Ewan staying out on the soft tyre.
Can see the graining on his front left as well, and just about on the front right. I'm not sure about the rears. The rears are starting to look a little bit on the scarier side as well.
We'll let Dom right on that. We did just see the graining that Dom was talking about on stream. We're going to quickly jump a little bit further down towards Raza. As, Jamie, because of the lack of front wing, wasn't able to slow his car down in time. He has picked up that 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Raza is really trying to catch up on Sir Sharks. We have a yellow flag in the pit lane area and through Maggots and Beckett's, despite there being no cars at Maggots and Beckett's. We are going to quickly jump to Liverpool Union. You can see, in fact, Tom Pikachu went very, very wide there out of cops. This could potentially open up the door for Liverpool Union to move. PSR Harry is very much gaining on Ewan at the same time. Keep an eye on that Haas driver. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. Everyone seems to be running through cops smoothly though, so I'm not sure what that yellow flag's for. Again, very, very good defensive driving there by Sun Pikachu. Now Liverpool Ewan comes in. Now he comes in. Let's watch where Botch Gerbil is. Botch Gerbil at the moment is on his way through Maggots and Beckett's. He's just come through Beckett's. He's now through Chapel, coming up the Hangar Straight. We're going to stay with Botched Gerbil because we want to see whether this undercut is going to work for the Canadian. Is he going to be able to get himself past Liverpool Ewan? He's coming up to Club and Vale now. Through Vale, round Club. Where is Liverpool Ewan by comparison? He's on his way out. Down the Hamilton Straight comes Botch Gerbil. Liverpool Ewan is on his way out of the pits now. Who is going to get ahead? Is it going to be Botch Gerbil? It is Botch Gerbil! The undercut works, Dom!
It does, but look at the, the difference in the laps now. Those tyres are about a lap or two old. So they will come into effect a little bit sooner, but they'll also drop off that bit sooner as well. So keep an eye a little bit later on for those two. They are going to be battling now for P10 as soon as Botch Gerbil can catch Joey. And also, PSR Harry is going to look to stick it around the outside of Sun Pikachu. Can he get it done? Can he? No, he cannot. Great defensive driving there from the Aston Martin driver as well. And I mean, we're talking about a guy that started literally, I'm not even saying like theoretically, quite literally last with no qualifying time set. And he is putting the guy that started on pole, who is on the fresher tyres, through his paces.
Indeed, of course, Sun Pikachu, one of two drivers yet to pit. The other being DJ Danny, who is currently in third place. But if Botch Gerbil, Dom, wants to break the record for the most consecutive podium finishes in IRL Xbox F1 history, Harry goes round the inside on Brooklands. He's going to have to do it around the outside of Luffield, though. Sun Pikachu's going to come back at him now. Through Woodcut, they now come now. PSR Harry, is he going to be able to hold it through Woodcut? These guys are still side by side on the run up to Cox. Please, don't do a Hamilton Verstappen. Please, please. Harry's the braver of the two drivers, and PSR Harry retakes the lead of the British Grand Prix. Some Pikachu now with a bit of work to try and see if he can catch back up to the rear wing of Harry, saying that he is keeping in touch with that Haas driver. Runs a little bit wide through Chapel though. He's going to get the DRS to help him. Jamie 29 has now decided that he's had enough of this evening. He's going to retire in the pits. Some Pikachu had a little look on Harry then. Didn't go for the move yet. He's going to potentially just try and line him up, stick with him as best as he can, and maybe look to make the move down the Wellington Straight and in towards Brooklands.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I can see him coming in the next 2 laps, possibly at the end of this lap, the end of next lap, for a set of soft tyres, because as we've seen, they can go the distance. They can do 10 laps, so you know, he proved the last time I saw him anyway at France that, you know, he's got it in him to conserve the tyres. And he's just one of those drivers that everyone should be a little bit of. Because whilst he's, you know, he's not the, I can't say he's not attacking, but he plays his strategies right. And whilst he's, you know, he does get upset about the fact that he's not qualifying up there, especially when he doesn't qualify at all. Him starting at the back on tyres of his choice means that he opens up his own strategy, and it just requires a good call.
Does indeed. The yellow flag there through Beckett's and Chapel. There's nothing undoing too much. No one has retired, but you see DCRS mates and DJ Danny side by side through Stowe now. Still they're there. The hand does go up there from DJ Danny, a little bit too close for comfort for these two drivers. As they come through Clubbing Bell, they're still side by side. Smates gets pushed slightly wide there by DJ Danny, but Smates is going to come back at DJ Danny now. He's going to have the inside line going into Abby. Does Smates have the run on Danny? A little bit of wheel bashing there from the two drivers. But they are still both on track and still battling with one another. Danny goes deep though. He gets the move done, but does he? Smace is going to come back. He's going to run the outside of the loop. DJ Danny does hold on, but he's going to concede DRS to DCRS Smace. In fact, no. DJ Danny does get the DRS. Fantastic bit of driving there by DJ Danny to ensure that he had the DRS going into that Wellington Straight. Whew.
Danny Ricciardo, eat your heart out. That was... Dive Bomb Dom would be proud, and Dive Bomb Dom is definitely proud. I had my heart in my throat, my stomach up there as well. I was feeling really heavy there. I did not know what was going to happen, and by God, was it interesting.
There was indeed potential move for the lead. Some Pikachu not able to make the move just yet. 15 laps. He's been on those medium tyres. We've got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. I'm not sure why we have a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. I don't see anyone moving particularly slowly. I think it's just Codemasters being Codemasters, as we all know and love. But DCRS, Snakes and DJ Danny, they're going to go for a round 2 potentially. Danny leads into Abbey, but here comes Smates as they come up towards Village now. We're going to stay on board with DCRS Smates. Very nice line there by Smates. Tries to close up that gap to DJ Danny. DJ Danny, ooh, a little bit of rubber banding there from DJ Danny. A little bit of desync there. Nothing too worrying. I don't think it affected Smates too much. But you can see the DRS. He's going to get closer, get closer, get closer. Not close enough though for the Williams driver. Not able to make a move on DJ Danny in the McLaren just yet. And again, we have a yellow flag through Magus and Beckett's when there's no one there on track. Thank you, Cody's.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 yellow flags on the opposite side of the track is cause for a virtual safety car, correct?
Pass. Nathan HRX picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings now. Some Pikachu's looking to try and come back at PSR Harry, but is unable to do so. We're going to watch from the rear view of PSR Harry. Some Pikachu still stays out. Smates and Danny again. They're going to go for round 2 now through Stowe. round the outside. DCRS Smates gets the move done on DJ Danny. As Vinny Cousin makes a move on Farfu as well for P8, I think it is. But Farfu is still there. They're still battling with one another, these two drivers. It is the Mercedes, of Vinny Cousin and the Aston Martin of Farfu battling one another through this world famous track. This is the IRL F1 Xbox League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and gridfinder.com. Dom, who's currently on your screen, my friend?
Sun Pikachu, this battle is... It's too hard to look. Every time I look away, the gap gets closer and closer and closer. I jump back and what you see is Sun Pikachu in the DRS not using his ERS to get past PSR Harry. So maybe, if this is the lap that he's going to come in, maybe forcing a couple of meters on the outside of the track is needed to make sure that Harry doesn't get any type of overcut. He is using his ERS this lap, just to get out of the corner though. No, nothing for extra top end speed.
Not able to make the move yet. Is he coming into the pits? No, he stays out. Some Pikachu's still staying out. DJ Danny and Snates again. What a move by DCR Snates, but the inside of DJ Danny through Stone. Danny's had enough of those medium tyres. He's now going to come into the pits and change over, we assume, for a set of soft stomp.
I mean,
7 laps to go? 8 laps to go?
Yeah, I mean, the cloud out of Abbey is looking very, very dark, but it's not quite the track yet, so it could be that he goes to the softs, but he may have to pit again momentarily.
We shall see, but here is the man who has the chance, I should say, to make history. Currently down in P11 though is Botched Gerbil. Fair bit of work for Canadian to do if he is going to try and get himself onto that podium and break that record. Currently held
Not
by
just me,
Liverpool.
but it has gotten a lot darker.
Has indeed gotten rather dark here at Silverstone. But none of the wet stuff just yet.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is exactly what Sun Pikachu is doing here. He does not have to go onto another compound of tyre as long as that compound... He has to go onto one more compound, right?
He does.
But he doesn't have to use another... Yeah, but if it rains, he doesn't have to use another dry compound tyre, like the other drivers already have. So, here's my theory. If that wet stuff hits the floor momentarily, and I mean the next couple of laps, and he dives in for those intermediate tyres, could be a genius.
It's a very good point. It is a very, very good point, but it is also on a very strong hypothetical, and that hypothetical is that it rains. If it doesn't, then some Pikachu will have to put on a set of slick tyres. So he still needs to pit regardless, because we have had the dry start. So I believe even if it does rain, some Pikachu can't actually finish the race without completing a pit stop. He will be disqualified, I believe, if that is the case. I'm going to quickly jump down to Farfu, who is again trying to hunt down Vinny Cousin. Guys were very, very close to one another through Club and Vale a couple of laps ago. You see Farfu looking to try and come back at Vinny now, the Aston Martin driver, trying to hunt down the Mercedes driver. You see that gap between Sun Pikachu and PSR Harry. Now Sun Pikachu is in the pits. Which compound of tyre goes onto that Aston Martin? Surely it's a set of...
It's gotta be. It's such a slow pit lane as well. It's so agonizing. I can see the softs lined up. Now I'm going to throw a set of softs on. Change his front wing a little bit too by the looks of it. Where is he going to come out? I'm guessing possibly just ahead of Botched Gerbil. it is. He has overcut DJ Danny.
He has overcut DJ Danny because he's coming out of the pits now. He's coming out in P9 with Sun Pikachu. Fantastic bit of work there for the Aston Martin driver. P9 having pit from P2. Overcut on DJ Danny, working an absolute treat there. We're going to jump up to where is Sir Sharks. There he is. Trying to hunt down Raza. Still on for those 17 now consecutive points finishes for Sir Shark, providing he remains in the top, I believe it's top 8 that score points here in Invictus. I don't think it's top 10.
I shall find out for you now.
So I've got it up. No, it is top 10. It's just a slightly different points structure to what we're used to in the world of Formula 1. It's 15 points for a win here in Invictus, 12 for second, 10 for third, 8 for fourth, and then 6 down to 1 for the positions of 5th down to 10th. As Raza now picks up a time penalty, that's probably not going to help his cause for a podium. In fact, let me have a quick look at the penalty situation. In fact, you know what, saying that, he will hold on to that position because Sir Sharks has got 6 seconds of penalties compared to Raza's 3. So providing Raza keeps it clean and doesn't obtain any more penalties, he should be good to hold on to this podium. PSR Harry does lead the way.
Yeah, correct, but what you're not seeing there as well is you've got to include Ruzek in here. Those mediums have to drop off soon, right? I mean, 2 more laps, and that is where Sun Pikachu came in. And I don't think he came in because he knew that he needed to. I think he came in because he knew that those tyres were gone.
I mean, Danny came in on what lap? 17 laps he'd had those on for before he pit, exactly. I believe. So we are getting to that same sort of territory that DJ Danny and Sun Pikachu have come into the pits. Here comes Farfu with that DRS assist round the outside of Vinny Cousin on the run up to Stowe. That is Farfu up into P6, and now the hunt for Ruzek is on for Farfu. Sir Sharks is very much gaining now on Raza. It's just over half a second a few corners ago. It's now, well, to be fair, it's still around that mark. Sun Pikachu does put in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, 1:27.650 for the Aston Martin driver, currently in P9. You see the DRS open for Sir Sharks, not able to make a move on Raza just yet. You see Botch Gerbil still down in P10, so he's on for points at the moment, but unless something very, very strange happens, Dom, I don't think that record is going to be broken. It's going to be a tied record between Liverpool Ewan, Fairmoto and Botch Gerbil. Don't see him making those movements up the field anymore. With what, 3.5 laps to go here at Silverstone, it is still PSR Harry that leads the way. We've got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. Potentially a slow-moving Ruzek. I think he's alright though. But there is the man who leads the Grand Prix at the moment, PSR Harry. I've noticed, whenever you seem to do commentary, Dom, and PSR Harry is involved in the race, he seems to do very, very well. Could you potentially be PSR Harry's good luck charm?
I don't know, but if... I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, so you know how, like, typically, it's a rabbit's foot, and you rub the rabbit's foot. If so, oh my good lord, what just happened to Vinny Cousin?
Oh, he's in the gravel out of Abbey. I think it was potentially Abbey and turn 2, which I can't for the life of me remember what the name of the corner is, and Vinny Cousin has retired from the session.
But yeah, as I was going to say, proverbial rabbit's foot, you rub the rabbit's foot. If that's the case, Harry might want to start rubbing my foot.
It's a very interesting way of putting it, Dom, I'll be honest.
If
Very,
not, you
very
can definitely
interesting
give me a back massage, because I could really kill for one of those right about now.
Alright, back onto the racing. Some Pikachu is trying to hunt down Liverpool Ewan here. But Liverpool Ewan
And he's
is
doing bloody
gonna have
well at it.
the DRS of Farfu to help him defend. But here comes Liverpool Ewan round the inside of Farfu, and some Pikachu follows Ewan through. Fantastic move by some Pikachu, and that's some Pikachu up into P7. Liverpool Ewan into P6. We're on the penultimate lap, of this race. There is your race leader, PSR Harry. 10.8 seconds the lead between himself and DCRS Smates. Man formerly known as CSR Maitland from season 12. Someone who Dom had a few conversations with last season, as he found some mid-season form. In fact, some Pikachu just made a move on Liverpool Ewan. Down the Wellington straight into Brooklands. That is some Pikachu back up into P6 now. Looking to try and see if he can hunt down Ruzek ahead of him. 4.4 seconds though. So it is a bit of a way to go.
4.4 on fresh softs though, I mean, it's never... Is it ever too late to call it out?
Yeah, I mean, with a lap and a half to go over Grand Prix, potentially. It'd be very, very tough for some Pikachu to make all that time up. I mean, saying that, he has made up half a second already on Ruzek. Apologies if you can hear fireworks in the background from my mic. Someone has decided that now would be a good time to start setting off fireworks.
Oh my dearly.
Why not? But PSR Harry is on the final lap of this British Grand Prix.
It seems to be that wherever we click to, whatever driver we seem to be clicking to, it is giving a yellow flag for.
It's very, very strange. Sir Sharks running up on Raza. Can he get the move done into Brooklands? No, he cannot. Potentially round the inside of Luffield. No, very well defended there by Raza. Holds that inside line. Doesn't let Sir Sharks really get any traction on him. And slight pull away from Raza now. Sir Sharks is going to try to look to put him under pressure again as the drivers come through Cops now. But we are going to have to jump away from this battle in just a second. As you can see him in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. PSR Harry coming up through Club and Vale. He's going to take the top step of the podium once again as PSR Harry wins the British Grand Prix here in round 5 of season 13.
It's just started raining.
And the rain has just started to come down now. DCRS Smates crosses the line in second, and you can see it there, ladies and gents. Sir Sharks has passed Raza, but Raza does get P3 back on the penalty, so it is Raza who rounds out the podium. Sharks drops all the way down to 6th place. Ruzek finishes in 4th, Sun Pikachu in 5th. You can see the rain there on screen. Sir Sharks down in 6th. Liverpool Ewan in 7th, Farfu in 8th, Bots Gerbil in 9th place. Can't beat them for the most consecutive podiums in IRL Xbox history. DJ Danny rounds out your top 10. Matt's in 11th, Joey in 12th, Nathan HRX just coming around Club and Vale now. That is going to wrap up our British Grand Prix as he crosses the line now. Dom, who's your driver of the day?
Sun Pikachu had gone from last place all the way up to P1. Held it there for a very, very long time, and then has moved back down after a pit stop, and not only moved back down, but then moved all the way back up into P5. That is the signs of a very, very good driver, and not just a good driver, but one we do need to keep an eye out, because especially if he comes back for next season, which I hope he does, and I'm talking this early, right? But if he does come back for next season as well, I can see him gaining the experience and the knowledge from this season and using it to win next season's title.
Well, there we go. Strong words there from DomThNoodle in regards to Sun Pikachu. The game did give driver of the day to Sun Pikachu as well. But these are your final your provisional race results following any potential stewards' inquiries in the IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver 61 and GridFinder.com. It is PSR Harry in the Haas that finishes on the top step of the podium. DCRS Smates in second. Raza rounds out the podium. Ruzek in fourth. Sun Pikachu fifth. Sir Sharks in sixth. Yeah, we've got you, Raza, bud. Liverpool you in seventh. Farfu in eighth. Botch Joe in ninth. DJ Danny rounds out your top 10. Matt's in 11th. Joey in 12th. Nathan HRX in 13th. Vinny Cousin 3 laps down, with Jamie 29X and Melina Coach rounding out your grid. Unfortunately unable to finish this evening. We've been joined in the party by all of our podium placers. Guys, please make sure that your audio is included. Just going to try and see if we can get our race winner PSR Harry into the party as well. Cheers, mate. Just going to let everything sort itself out, and I hate the fact that the game doesn't let us quit anymore, because we have to sit with these. It's fine. Dom has just popped to the lavatory. Guess he's probably, knowing Dom, been holding that in for the entirety of the race because he is a weirdo. But it's fine. It's fine. So what I'll do is, until Dom comes back, I'll start the podium interviews, because why not? We'll start off with Raza, third place. Raza, back-to-back third places for you. Welcome into the podium interviews. Obviously, you weren't able to join us last week, but you're with us this week. Back-to-back third places. That's got to feel good, bud. Yeah, you did indeed. And the one penalty there throughout the race. Do you think that had the rain maybe come a little bit earlier, you could have maybe started making moves on the guys like Smates and Harry? Or would you think they just maybe a little bit of a bridge too far this evening? It's fair enough. Just having a quick listen on the stream. I don't think the stream can hear you, Raza. Do you want to just double check that your audio is included in the stream, and then I'll hand over to Dom to carry on with the rest of the podium interview. Dom, are you back?
Indeed.
There we go. In that case, I will hand over to you, my friend, and I will let you talk to Mr. Raza. So over to you, mate.
Yeah. Raza, as you said, you didn't get a single podium last season, and I, for one, said several times that you deserved one. And now you've got two back to back. Obviously, that's got to come with some kind of uplift, surely. Yeah, and I mean, you say you pull your weight, but like I said, last season you were very strong, and you said you got several fourth place finishes. And if I'm not mistaken, you had a blowout at Italy as well. And I mean, I was egging you on for that win. You said these drivers are a bit too quick, but has your track come up yet? Do you think there is a winning? Well, congratulations. It is a well-deserved podium for you tonight. And the battles were endless between you and several other drivers, so thank you. Now we are on to DCRS mates, the Williams driver, who, let me just get up my little cheat sheet here. If I'm not mistaken, has 2 podiums so far this season?
I think so. France and Australia, I think.
No,
Yeah.
just the one podium
no,
this season,
no,
is it?
It's 2. It's 2. It's a graphical issue on the standings.
Okay, so two podiums so far this season. This is a 3rd. I mean, you're going to be getting up there now, surely. I mean, PSRE is quick, and we'll get on to him momentarily, but I mean, consecutive great finishes and 1 DNS, which is unfortunate, but is this race what you needed to sort of get yourself into the mood for the rest of the season? And if so, how will this race, the way you race this race, inflict the next races?
Well, unfortunately, I've got to deal with Harry quite a lot. I race him quite a lot, and I know how quick he is. But yeah, today I'll say with the sort of mediums, I pitted twice under safety car, so I used my mandatory pit stop and started to go back on mediums, and basically went the scenic route and had to overtake the whole grid, but bar Harry. So I think knowing that I can go through the pack like that will give me confidence in then following races if something bad does happen. So yeah, I guess in that respect maybe, but regardless of what happened today, I think the highest I could have got anyway was 2nd, because this little sweaty tryhard in front is always rapid, so yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, like you said, you done a double medium strategy, you hit it twice. Did you think for a second that may have not been the best call?
Well, I knew that mediums were going to go to the end, I knew hard's going to go to end, and I evaluated whether I wanted a trap position or a better tyre more, and I worked out the fact that a lot of people went hard, so it was quite easy to clear them, so I decided to go to mediums and drop to the back. At the start it was a bit carnage because I had a few lag people teleporting about me, but yeah, I started to get my flow a bit, and I was picking people off pretty decently. I had a good scrap with Danny. You know, Danny never gives up for a fight, so that lasted a while. But yeah, I knew it was between trap position or tyre, and I decided to go with tyre. So it ended up paying off in the end, but yeah, not too bad.
So, you call him a sweaty tryhard in front of you. Do you reckon you're going to beat him this season?
Maybe bring out a few wheel tracks like something in Japan or something, maybe, but I don't know. Kid's a freak, but yeah. Maybe we should get his ABS off and Ari.
Thanks, yeah, cheers.
But yeah, hopefully I can try and get a bit closer, because as much as I can blame the fact that I had to clear the whole grid to get towards him, and that'll cost me a lot of time, I don't think I would have been near him anyway, regardless. I think I would have been at least like 4 or 5 seconds behind, so yeah, maybe if I had a day off practicing I won't be able to get there.
What?
Well, congratulations on today with those, mate. What a performance from yourself, and some of the battles were nail-biting, to say the least.
Cheers, mate.
Now, to the race winner, PSR Harry.
Hello.
Hello. These are
Hello.
not the droids you're looking for. Anyway, what a performance! Just give us a brief description of your race.
Well, it was. I was planning for it to be sort of just a simple, easy race, and then safety car sort of spice things up a bit. But the timing of it wasn't too bad because I know I could pit onto mediums and just do the rest of the race. I was a bit surprised that the ones in front didn't pit. So I mean, I was like 9th after the safety car restart, but I just sort of had to make my way through. That was pretty much it.
Yeah. Talking about making your way through. I mean, F1 is all about the battles. No one enjoys just, going out in front and enjoying, having a nice, easy, leisurely Sunday drive. That battle you had with Sun Pikachu for many, many laps. Did that?
Yeah.
Do you think that impacted you in any way? And if so, was it an enjoyable battle between the two of you?
Yeah, well, it was very good racing with Sun Pikachu. I didn't quite know what his tyre situation was. I didn't know if he'd pit or what. I'm pretty sure he hadn't pit, which is obviously he didn't. But so I was a little bit skeptical of what he was going to do, especially with the rain and whatnot. So I was trying. I wasn't just sort of. I was making sure I was staying ahead and make sure I overtook him. But yeah, I think sort of start of sector 2. It was sort of side by side, and then I think I just got past him at Copse Corner. I think. Yeah, it was. And then I just sort of held him off for sort of the rest of the laps until he pit.
Yeah, I mean, he hadn't pit all race, and I was actually quite gutted for him, to be fair, because I genuinely think had he have pit already, and it was, you versus him right to the line, I mean, I don't think you'd have argued it. I mean, it is what it is, and had you have lost to him, I don't think it was a really, really good fight between the two of you. Obviously, that battle now, you can trust driving around him, and
Yeah.
It proves that he can trust driving around you. Do you think you two could battle it out for the rest of the season? And if so, do you think that you could continue to take this winning streak and win the title?
Well, I think the only issue at the minute is I miss a few races. I think there's been five or six races and I've only done 3. But yeah, I'm surprised with some Pikachu. I know he's got the pace, but I don't know if strategy or what goes wrong with him. But I wasn't exactly gapping him when I got ahead of him, and he was on older tyres than me. So I know he obviously has the pace. But yeah, I can see more battles with him in the future. Yeah.
Okay, and before I let you go, I just want to remind you that it is illegal to be as fast as you are. And you do have to let other people be time.
Do I my race streak sort of like?
Oh, sorry.
I know the record is like 2 race wins in a row, but do mine not count because I missed sort of ones in between?
I could not tell you.
I've raced 3, won 3, but I sort of won, missed a race 1, missed a race 1, so I don't know if it counts.
Well, we will have to find out. The only place we'll be able to tell you is right here on the Invictus Racing League Twitch channel next week when we go to either Kieran will have it or I will have it somewhere.
I already have it. I'm always planned. You know this. We're at Austria next week.
Ooh, Austria, Kieran, I might just jump back into the comms box with you.
We shall see. But thank you for that, Dom. But this will, of course, bring us to the end of our broadcast here this evening. A massive, massive congratulations to our podium here at Silverstone as part of the continued shared commentary agreement with last season's Realistic Performance guys. It will be myself filling in for Andrew Gatton, who is celebrating his birthday next week. So happy birthday, Mr. Gatton, for next week. But I'll be joined by Mr. Matty Valander, taking you through the action next week from Austria in round 6 of season 13. But for more IRL racing action, head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/InvictusRL. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Invictus Racing League, on Twitter @InvictusRL and @InvictusRL_Xbox. And if you would like to get involved in the racing, check out the website InvictusRacingLeague.com. But until next time, from myself, Kieran Wright92, and DomThNoodle, thank you for watching.